boy who tried to get away during a paddling or who reached back with his hands more than twice was transferred to a paddling bench which the school carpenter had made for each of the dorm mothers, including the upper school dorms for those boys whose parents requested spankings. Each spanking bench was a padded, horse-like structure about 1 foot wide, 4 feet high, and 5 feet long. Each had soft, padded, leather restraints attached to the forelegs with a wide strap to hold the culprit's waist securely in place. Once a boy was strapped onto a spanking bench, there was nothing he could do but sob his way through the rest of his paddling. Though the floor mistresses did not have spanking benches, they often used a handkerchief to secure the hands of larger boys before putting them over their knees. If necessary, they also placed their right leg over the legs of the squirming culprit to make sure he stayed in place during his spanking. With boys sentenced to paddlings over the bench, any corner time was served while strapped in place on the bench while the house mistress went about her normal business. Since corner, or bench, time lasted a little more than an hour for 3-button offences. It was not unusual for others nuns to come and go from the apartment of the house mistress while a sniffling, red-bottomed boy lay strapped over the spanking bench for all to see. Because many boys came from far away, there were always 4 or 5 who could not go home for the 4-day holidays at Thanksgiving and Easter. Some even had to stay for a week vacation in the spring. Though most of the nuns and dorm mothers were also off on holiday, school policy required 2 dorm mothers to remain in residence. Those few boys who had no home to visit during Thanksgiving or Easter simply moved in with one of the 2 dorm mothers or with the nurse at the infirmary. In the privacy of a house mistress's home and in the absence of enough staff to supervise work details, older boys were handled just like younger boys when they got into mischief. Knowing how embarrassing it was for an older boy to be treated like a younger one, the house mistresses were all too happy to punish the slightest naughtiness in an older boy with a spanking. For minor offences, the correction was administered in the spot with the house mistress putting down what she was doing, spanking the culprit, and putting him in the closest corner. A punishment nap followed no matter what time it was unless it was after dinner. In that case, the well-spanked culprit was undressed and put right to bed for good. For more serious offences over the holiday, it was possible to employ more extended corner time before and after a spanking or to divide the spanking up into an immediate spanking and a later bedtime spanking after dinner. To free up time for themselves, the house mistresses always used afternoon naps and early bedtimes for younger boys who were visiting. Other forms of juvenile punishment included the use of nightly sponge baths and one-piece sleepers which the school had obtained from Sears for normal use in the infirmary. Thus an older boy staying over with a dorm mother for spring vacation could find himself undressed and put into a sleeper each afternoon and again in the evening after his nightly bath. All of the sleepers had flaps in the back for easy spankings.